Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Behind the Business. I am your host with the Boise Beat, Gordie Tamayo, and today we're thrilled to introduce Marti Hutchinson with us. She's the dynamic founder of M-Spa in Boise, Idaho. Her entrepreneurial journey has not only fostered a sanctuary for relaxation and rejuvenation, but also contributed to the local community's wellness narrative. So without further ado, Marti, how you doing today?
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm doing great.
Absolutely. Well, hey, I'll jump right into it. I want to first, you're already geared up, and looks like you're ready for your first client already.
I am. I'm at the spa ready to go.
Working hard all the time, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, I bet. Hey, could you share with us real quick a little bit about the inception of M-Spa? I mean, you've been in operation for quite some time now, right?
We're about to celebrate, in February, we'll celebrate our 12th year here in Bound
Wow.
Crossing, which is
Wow.
pretty wonderful. We've
Yeah.
got some, there's always an ever revolving door of people, but we also have some that have been with us from the very beginning. So that's pretty cool too.
Well, you're doing something right then if you're keeping a lot of the same people for that long.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Well, so speaking of, I'm going to kind of narrow down into another place that I wasn't going to get to just yet right away. But since you mentioned that, 12 years, recurring clientele in a market that is sometimes somewhat competitive, right? And a lot of different places that are popping up and opening up. What sets M-Spa apart from, others?
I think what people say when they walk in is the energy. They say they love the way it makes them feel. It's more of a boutique style rather than a really large med spa. It's more of that boutique style where you can come in, grab a cup of coffee. It's not as casual as like walking into a barbershop,
Sure.
but it does feel that way. We all know one another's clients. We all say hello. We end up sharing each other's clients. So, people walk in and they really look forward to coming. So even during those times when, other people are seeing their sales plummet, we actually see an uptick in our sales because of the fact that people just want to come and they want to feel a little bit better about themselves.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. So dating back 12 years then, what was kind of the catalyst, if you would, or the spark that got you jumping into this arena? Is it something you always wanted to do?
Yeah, I actually, I started out working, just leasing a space at a salon. I didn't go to school to be an esthetician until I was 30 years old. It was kind of a second career for me. And once I did that, I fell in love with it. And then I've always been an entrepreneur. So then, of course, I was, working under someone else in their building and thought, gosh, I want to do it, this way, and this way.
Mhm.
And that's like the gift and the curse of being an entrepreneur, right? Where you're like, oh, I could do it better, or I could do
Right.
it my way. So one of my clients owned Elements here in Bound
Okay.
Crossing. He said, there's a space available. You need to come to Southeast Boise. And I had honestly not really even been down to this area. And once I drove here, I thought, this is my home.
Wow.
And it just all fell together. I knew it was right because then the next thing you know, I've got 3 or 4 additional hairstylists that want to come work for me that live in the area, and they're calling me. Once they heard I was moving here, people just started calling me to come and work here. And they already had amazing loyal clientele from the area. So
Now you've bound to kind of experienced a lot of different roller coaster moments, if you would, in your entrepreneurial journey over a decade. So could you share with us maybe some of the major challenges that you've encountered over this time, maybe in the early days of M-Spa, and kind of how you navigated through them?
yes, so there was a constant robbing Peter to pay Paul. There was never enough money. There was, when I opened up this spa, I like to tell people that are getting into business when they say, ask these questions like, isn't it oversaturated? Doesn't it take so much money? All those questions. I'm like, I was literally here laying the floor and the trim, and I learned how to cut trim and cut flooring and lay it. So there was no money when I started out. Everything kept going over, everything kept costing more, the build out cost more than my allotment. And it was just one of those, like, it's a normal thing now, I know, but at the time I was freaking out and I was thinking I wasn't going to be able to stay open or be open on time. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to jump in here and do this myself. And a few of my staff members did the same. They laid tile, they helped paint. And so that was getting started. We kind of started in a deficit.
Yeah.
I literally had leveraged everything I had, and there was no money to get started. But that's the beauty of our business is it's a daily revolving door of income. We're not waiting for accounts receivable. We're not waiting for invoices to be paid. People are paying us daily. And so for a long time, it was, okay, I can pay the bills. Today I made enough money to pay for today. And then as things grew and my bank account grew, I was like, okay, we're going to be okay for another month. Now we're going to be okay for 6 months. And now, thankfully, we're in a really good position. But it was a lot of hours and a lot of serious dedication to get here.
Yeah. So when it comes to operational efficiency, it's get your hands dirty, get in there, be willing to do the hard work that nobody else wants to do, huh?
You're right. And people think that, I think sometimes when you're a business owner, especially of a spa, it's this beauty industry,
Sure.
I'm cleaning the bathrooms and taking out the trash and shoveling the sidewalks. If you come any day on a snowy day, I'm the one out there shoveling the sidewalks. There's
Yeah.
not, you don't get to hire people to do all of that stuff.
Sure. And I can tell you're a business owner, you're a woman that doesn't mind doing the hard work. I mean, you work with horses too, from what I've seen, right?
I do. Yes, I have. This place has allowed me the opportunity to buy 5.5 acres of my own for my kids.
You mentioned your employees being willing to jump in there, helping you lay floor, paint, etc. Talk to me a little bit about incorporating a team type atmosphere, right, and developing a culture within your spa that people want to work at. They want to continue working with you and doing business with you.
So this would be my number one thing. The reason I hire business coaches, the reason I hire anybody is to teach me more about leadership. First it's always leadership of self, and then
Right.
learning to lead a team. And so for me, it was, when I first started, it was a very, I wasn't sure, I knew I was an entrepreneur, but I didn't know how to manage people. So it was really important that in the beginning, I asked for help and asked for feedback. And so that's what, before I could afford to hire help, I just kept asking my people for feedback. What am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? And it was amazing. Some of the things that I thought that, people really wanted me to do, other people in the organization would say, hey, I see you getting walked on over here. We don't like to see this,
Mhm.
So I learned a lot about where I needed to give, and then where I also needed to pull back and delegate and actually be the boss. And for me, that was really hard. I did not like confrontation. I wanted everybody to just love to
Mhm.
work for me.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to, it's like parenting. It's like laying that structure, and people feel more comfortable when you give direct orders.
Mhm.
Obviously nice,
Sure.
but and so that for me, and then just letting people know that I care. So even though I'm your boss, I'm also checking in on you with your family, because that's really what we are here. And I really, really, that was my most important thing, was to foster a culture where it wasn't you just went to work, you put
Mhm.
in your time and you left.
Right.
I wanted you to, we spend a lot of time here, and I wanted people to enjoy being here.
Yeah, that's wonderful. For the aspiring entrepreneur, somebody who's either, they're bootstrapping it themselves. You kind of mentioned a couple of things, but I want to give you another opportunity to give them a take home to say, hey, I'm just getting started, or maybe I'm 12 months into it. I'm in those early phases, honeymoon phases where it's been rough. Markets hurt me in this particular arena. What encouragement would you give to the aspiring entrepreneur, or maybe even the established one that's going through a season right now on continuing to move forward?
One of the things I learned is to take a step back, that which is the hardest thing for entrepreneurs to do. When we feel like we need to start clawing to get there, that's when we're actually not doing it right. So when I start feeling that panic and that anxiety, that's when I have to take a step back. I need to actually focus on putting my needs first. It sounds silly, that word self-care, but putting those things first, get in the gym, do my meditations, get with nature, so that I can get clear. Because once I get clear on what needs to be done, then it's, full steam ahead, and I know exactly which way to go.
Yeah.
But that's what I would say is, don't get bogged down. Don't let these day-to-day worries completely bog you down. I had a reminder on the way here. I had a reminder of it today, because I was like, I have this to do and this to do and this to do and this to do. There's no way to get it done. And I took my my breath and I said, one thing at a time. And once you work out one thing, another door opens. Yeah. And that's what's happened for me. Every time I've been panicked about money, once I just got still and listened, something happened for me that was just out of the blue.
That's great insight. That's great words of wisdom. Well, I told you I was going to keep it short and sweet. But thank you so much for your time, Marti.
Yes.
Hutchinson with M Spa here in Boise, Idaho. If you're looking for the plug, if you're looking for the spot to go to for your health and wellness, make sure you look them up. Where can they catch you online, by the way?
At mspaboise.com.
mspaboise.com. Easy to remember. Marti, thank you so much for joining me today.
Marti.
It's been a pleasure. Gordie Tamayo here, your host with the Boise Beat. Until next time, thank you.